Hey everyone. Uh, so we'll be starting the Frisco meetup right now. So give me a minute. So hey everyone, welcome to the Frisco MuleSoft meetup group. So we'll be we are having a meetup with the advancing enterprise integration with MuleSoft MCP server and Cursor AI. So we'll be diving into the MuleSoft hosted MCP server and the Cursor AI that with which we'll be using the MCP server and also the MuleSoft development, right? So here are the organizers of the Frisco MuleSoft meetup. Thanks to them that we are organizing this virtual meetup. And yeah, so Lovina, Anubhav, and Himanshu. So we have Anubhav with us, and Himanshu was also here, but I can't. Yeah, he's also here, and yep. So we'll be the speakers. I am Diljot, and I'm the senior solution consultant at Kalias Consultings, and I have a knack for AI and integration. So it'll be fun giving this meetup, and this is my first meetup in Frisco region specifically. So yeah, Mantasha, do you want to give your intro?
Yeah, sure. I am Mantasha Tabassum. I work as a solution consultant at KLS Consulting, and I'm completely into integration and AI. And I'm always eager to learn more. Today, I'll be sharing some of the insights that I have gathered along the way, and I hope you find that them useful and impactful. That is true.
Awesome. And so here's the safe harbor statement that both the speakers and hosts are organizing this meetup at individual capacity, and we are not representing our organizations here. This presentation is strictly for learning purposes, and we do not hold any responsibility that same solution will work for you or your business use case. And this presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. And today's agenda, I think let's Mantasha take it over from here, and I'll come back for my part. Yeah, Mantasha, you can take over.
Yeah. Yeah, before we dive into the MuleSoft meter that we are presenting here, here's a quick look at the agenda today. We'll be starting off with by understanding the Model Context Protocol, that is MCP, that is the star of our MuleSoft meter today. And we'll be understanding its architecture. And then we'll move forward by understanding how we move from isolated LLMs to connected ecosystems. After that, we'll explore Cursor IDE setup and how we integrate MCP server in it, and then later we'll be diving into MuleSoft MCP tools and see how Cursor AI helps in the development of MuleSoft applications. And then later in the stage, we'll have Diljot, who will be giving the demo, the live demo for building the MuleSoft application. And in the last, we will have a quick quiz to test our learning. And we do have two vouchers today for the top two performers in our quiz. So all the best for today with that quiz. Can you move to the next slide, Diljot? Yeah, okay. Talking about the heart or the star of today's session, that is MCP. Can you move to the next slide, Diljot? Yeah. Okay, here you can see MCP is like an open standard that is introduced by Anthropic in the late 2024 to it enable large language models to interact with external tools, data and systems. In simple terms, I would explain it in such a way that just as REST is to an API, MCP is to an agent. Like it's a kind of protocol or standard that we have set for communication. So we can say REST defines a standard protocol that lets different APIs to communicate in a consistent way. Similarly, MCP defines a standard protocol that lets different AI agents or models interact with tools, data, applications, all in a unified way. So, like, it's a way to connect AI models with the real world data so that they can not only just chat or understand that all the LLMs do, they can take actions or execute actions on those APIs, on those data using tools. So it basically, MCP helps agents to take actions on the data. uh, let's consider an example, like an email example. Suppose I need to apply for leave on Diwali. What I'll do, I'll go on to ChatGPT or any other AI application and write, hey, frame me or draft me an email for this. What it will do, it will give me a response having that drafted email. But with MCP, it goes a step further. It not only creates the email for me, but also sends that automatically to the right recipient, like my HR manager. So like, if like we don't have that the format in picture, we also have the execution of actions in that MCP. So that's the power of MCP. It's like connecting AI intelligence with the real world actions. Diljo, do you have any other example in your mind for this?
So for this, like even Zerodha, as you can see, right, Zerodha is a brokerage platform. So it has also created a MCP server for itself. So what we can do with that is, if we want to buy a stock or any analyze that stock, right? So we can just say to Claude or Cursor, we can set it up on Claude or Cursor or anywhere which has the MCP client, and we can just call it in natural language that I want to buy this stock, and it will and this much quantity, and it will go to the Zerodha and call the APIs internally, and will give you the stock, the buy the stock, right? So this is how it is making our life easier, and with just the natural language. Yeah.
Yeah, it basically doing all the performance, all the actions on the data that we have. So moving forward to the architecture of the MCP. Yeah, can you move to the next slide, Diljo? So as you see, MCP follows a client-server architecture, where an MCP host is an AI application. It can be Claude, Windsurf, Cursor AI, or anything that establishes connection to one or more MCP servers. And the MCP host accomplishes this by creating one MCP client for each MCP server. Now consider it in such a way that we have one MCP host, we have one or multiple MCP clients residing on it, and each of them has a separate one-to-one connection to the MCP server. So in this way, we have three major components in the MCP architecture. One is MCP host, the other is client, and the other is server. So the AI application that coordinates and manages one or more multiple MCP clients is the host. MCP client is a component that maintains a connection to an MCP server. And the MCP server is simply a program that provides all the context to the MCP clients. So if I talk about from the example perspective, we can say you must be aware of the Cursor AI. You must be a tech geek, all of you here. So what does Cursor AI does? Cursor, it can be an MCP host. So when Cursor connects to a GitHub MCP server, an MCP client is created to handle that connection, allowing Cursor to fetch issues, commits, PR details, or any other GitHub operations that we do in our day-to-day life. Simultaneously, if Cursor connects to a Jira MCP server that to retrieve any task information or any updates from there, then another client is instantiated for that connection. So for now, we have one MCP host, two MCP clients residing on it, and each of them connected to a respective MCP server. One is GitHub and the other one is Jira. So all of these tasks are maintained in this way, following this architecture, while the cursor, which is the host, orchestrates all of them, giving AI a unified access to multiple systems. So in this way, we have the architecture host, client on it, and one-to-one connection with all the MCP servers. Any other, if you have any other doubt or questions, you can drop that in the DMs or Q&A. Yeah, Dujot, can you move ahead? Okay. Next, the topic that we have here is the isolated LLMs to connected ecosystems and the role of MCP here. So, okay, Tech Geek, you must be aware of familiar with all the terms such as OpenAI, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. What does that use behind the picture? It uses LLM. So what is exactly LLM and what is happening and why there was a need or why there was a need MCP in here? So if we look to the slide here, we first have LLM, and in the next one we have LLM integrated with different tools. And in the third one, we have MCP in the picture, which is acting as a bridge between the LLM and the tools. Now, if we talk about LLMs first, LLMs work best with static prompts, like it answers questions, it summarizes documents for you, it generates code, and based on the prompt that you have written, it gives you out of it. But does it able to perceive, plan, or execute actions on it? So that's where there lacks the capability. For example, LLMs, like if you could take a sample, LLM can be integrated with multiple tools. So in that case, it is stateless in nature. It doesn't retain any memory. So if you talk about, like you must be asking, okay, in the AI application, what does it retains the previous memory? No, it doesn't. What happens exactly is the application layer that could be ChatGPT or something. What it does, it concatenates your previous request and the new request. It concatenates both and give it as a new prompt to the LLM. So it doesn't actually retain the memory. It is the application layer that is in the picture front, which is doing all the tasks. So it's kind of that when we expose different functionalities, if we want to expose different functionalities, that is the tool here. In that case, it could be an overhead for the developers to do. So if I talk about like a general approach started with integrating tools which provide LLM their capability. But this custom tool integration, like custom integrating the tools like different tools here with LLM could be an overhead for all the developers. So this is where MCP helps by providing a standardization. Like it acts as a layer between the LLM and the tools, just like a USB-C port. So if I talk about an example here, okay, when a developer use Cursor AI or even ChatGPT to generate code, the LLM could write and explain the code, but it couldn't access the local project files, read errors from there, from the terminal, or push changes to GitHub. It is like having a super smart coder who could talk about code, but not actually interact with your tools, like with our tools. Now with MCP, this limitation is eradicated. MCP lets Cursor AI to connect with multiple tools like file system, Git, all these through a standardized protocol. So the same AI that now can read files directly, analyze errors, make code edits, and even commit changes, and all of these securely and seamlessly. So that is why we have MCP in the picture. In the very first stage, we have LLM, and then we have LLM with integrating with different tools, and then we have MCP to eradicate those external extensively overhead that we face in the acting as a bridge between LLM and tools. In short, we can say before MCP, LLMs could suggest actions. With MCP, they can execute them intelligently and in context. Do you want to add something to this, Diljot?
No, so there are a few questions on the side that how does MCP know which tool it has to connect, right? So it is not the MCP which decides which tool to connect to. It is MCP server is like a collection of tools that it has with the context, like this tool does which thing, and it also gives us the parameters that it requires to call that tool, and LLM decides which tool it has to call, and then it since it has the context in the MCP server, right? So it goes and understand that context and then call the MCP tool, and it can be like multiple tools in one prompt itself. Like if you give one prompt, right, it goes to reasoning for agent. It's for agent, like it goes on reasoning and understands the question, and then it has the context as well, and also the MCP tools context, and then it goes and understand which tool should be present here, and then it goes and calls that. I hope it answers your question. And an example of the implementation, yes, it will be presented. We have the uh, MuleSoft hosted MCP server that we'll be using to give you an example of that. uh, And there are two more questions. Where does the client and host fit in this picture? Yeah, so it fits on the in the MCP uh, diagram that you have, right? So MCP server is on the tools. MCP server is on. Suppose you are connecting to Zerodha with Claude, right? So if you have Claude here and MCP server. Zerodha has MCP server, so server is hosted over there on Zerodha, and here on the Claude you have MCP host, and on this MCP host there are multiple clients that are created for every MCP server. So that is the thing. And LLM just convert the natural language system prompt and provide to MCP. Yes, we can say that, Ramakrishna. Yeah, Matasha, you can move forward.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, we can say like, why does this MCP matter? So I would summarize this that it definitely accelerates the development since it reduces the building time of that MuleSoft application, and we can simplify the integration of new applications and agents. And since we can integrate with multiple tools all at once, we do not have that overhead to write custom code each time for integrating tools to our LLMs. We do have a rich ecosystem of data resources, tools, and applications that can be used for superior AI performance, just as the picture that we have on the slide. And yeah, it definitely deliver intelligent agents that securely access the data, and it performs necessarily actions that is done completely autonomously. So okay, yeah, can you move to the next slide, Diljo? Yeah. To the next start of our MuleSoft meetup today. The first one is the MCP, and the next one we have is the cursor. Yeah, we'll be setting up the cursor using MCP server here. Yeah. Before that, how many of you know about Cursor AI, and how many of you have used Cursor AI for the development purpose before? Do we have some here? Okay. Okay, now we do have a bunch of people that have used before. Okay, that's good. So today what we'll be doing, we'll be integrating MCP server to our Cursor AI, and we'll see the tools that is provided by the MuleSoft. So before that, we'll go first and look onto what exactly Cursor is, and whoever is not aware of Cursor AI. So, okay, so imagine like having a smart coding partner to yourself, like which can write boilerplates, suggest solutions, help troubleshoot errors all in real time. Like you do all the coding there, all the troubleshooting there, your every terminal is being read, everything is done in the real time. That is Cursor AI. So it's a coding assistant designed to help developers build, enhance, and maintain applications faster. So when integrated with MuleSoft, Cursor AI can assist in building flows, generate data view transformation, handling errors. So basically, whatever we do on Anypoint Studio, like building of the flows, like data view transformation, minute test cases, and with all the best practices, that could be done by Cursor AI. So we do provide Cursor a documentation, a complete documentation where we write all the best practices, whatever like the sets or protocols or rules that we follow along throughout the development of MuleSoft application. We write that best practices and we feed that data to the Cursor AI. So while building the MuleSoft application, it goes to that documentation and build the application according to it. So then we have the set, like, okay, before moving to the setting up the MCP server, can we move to the next slide, Diljo? Yeah. Okay. For the setting of the MCP server, what we have is to first create a connected app on Anypoint platform. So we'll be creating that using on behalf of client credentials. So just as you all know, I'm assuming that you all know what Anypoint platform is. So we'll be navigating to Anypoint platform. Then we'll move to access management, then connected apps, and then we'll create a connected app there using on behalf of client credentials, and we'll give the necessary scopes to it, and we'll have that handy, that client ID secret. and we'll paste a client ID and secret to this JSON body that you can see on the slide. And then we'll feed this JSON body to our cursor. And in this way, the MCP server, like we are connected to our MCP server. The cursor AI is being connected to the MCP server. And now we can use those MCP tools that MuleSoft provided 18 tools in our building of MuleSoft applications. Yeah. Okay, anything to add, Diljot, from your side?
No, I am good, and I think I can take over from here.
Yeah.
Yes, so let me share my screen, and Mantasha, you can do the moderator part now and
Yeah, I
ask the
can do that.
questions. So yeah, uh, uh, is everyone able to see my screen?
Yeah, I can see that, Diljot.
And can anyone give me a heads up?
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, awesome. So this is the cursor, right, as we have it. So generally in the start, as you see, you can open a project over here. It gives you a clean slate and open a project. And once you open a folder or a project, it will just give you that folder name. And these are the APIs that we created with it for our POC purpose. And we'll show you these APIs. After I'll go with the MCP tools that MuleSoft has provided, and every other thing. So this is the cursor interface, and you can go to the settings or the type top right corner, and the tools and MCP. You can put it like I have the pro trial, but it is also available in the free ones, and uh, and you can also buy the pro one if you want to, so you can go ahead with that. So these are the MCP tools that are provided by MuleSoft itself. So MuleSoft hosted MCP server, I should call it precisely, that it is a MCP server that's hosted by MuleSoft, and we can like nearly use all of the APIs that MuleSoft platform has with this MCP server, and they are still figuring it out and making new things. And some of these tools are a bit faulty on the side, but most of them are really good, so we can use that. And there are basically uh, four types of tools that we have. I can go to the slide real quick, and these are the four types that we have. So MCP tools are individual operations exposed by MuleSoft MCP server that agents or external systems can discover and call. So they are grouped into categories like application development tools, application management tools, and then API and policy management tools. And at the last, we have usage and insight tools. So you can see all those in here. First four of them: create mule project, generate mule flow, create MCP server, and deploy mule application. These are the application development ones, and the next few of them in management. And then the policies, which you can see, the policy starts from here. Manage API instance policies, these are with the APIs. And then we have the gateway ones. So these are basically the last one: usage and insights specifically, right? So getting ahead with all of them, their names are self-explanatory, and we have 18 tools right now. And I have seen a bit up and down here. There are sometimes 20 tools, and there are sometimes 17 tools that we see over here. It depends on the um, access that you have given to the connected app, and also to how have you downloaded it. Like if you have installed the MCP server with the without Node.js, it will reduce a few of the tools. So we have you can run this command npx while MuleSoft MCP server start, and it will run. if you have Node.js already installed on your server, it will directly run this, and you'll have all the list like I have. But otherwise, you'll be having one or two less tools, right? Because some of the tools require Node.js in the backend. And now, so these application development tools use Einstein at the backend, right? So whenever you call these, they go to the MuleSoft endpoint platform, and at the backend, they call Einstein. But since the Einstein is not yet that much capable to create the flows that good, so we'll be using Claude for our code creation part, and that will be a demo, live demo that I'll be giving you in a few minutes. So these are the part that I'll not suggest you to use, because the new thing that is coming up is MuleSoft Dev Agent. So in that, in this Dreamforce, so maybe in that it will work like a charm. But right now, let's use Claude itself, and all the other tools are there. So let's call the list applications that we can see. So I we have to just give it the environment in which we have given the access to this connected app. And as you can see, you can hover over it, and you can see environment name. That is a required thing over here. You can look into the documentation and see. So you will be giving it will be giving you all of the information about the applications that are over on the runtime manager. So if I'll call it list applications in the test environment, right? So it is calling that, planning next move. So this is agentic thing that it does internally. But yeah, so here as you can see, ran list applications. So it is showing that it has ran this tool from this MCP server, right? So the internally that was working, it was Claude and the LLM or the agent, we can say, at the backend. And after that, it has thought of it and found that this MCP tool that we have to use, and it has gone through that. uh, okay, let me get the name right. Maybe list the applications in the test environment. And in here you can also see how it is set up. We'll be deleting this connected app later on, but yeah, this is how it will be set up after that. As Mantasha already shown you the code. So once you go here, add MCP server, so you have to put all of the things here, right? And see here on the right side, we have got the reply. So in the test environment, find it found APIs. So it also it is telling us that it has 16 applications running on the test environment, and on the Cloud Hub 2.0, we have these much 5, and is it running or not running? And you will be also getting the URL on the right side. It was giving previously. And after that, the target and Cloud Hub 1.0 applications, and also the on-premise or failed deployments are also here. So you can see everything over here, right? And now let's list something else as well. So here you can see, you can list the API instances also that are running on the API manager. So let's call that list API instances as well, right? So you can chat with it, and it will do everything for you. You can also create the API specs, API spec projects. Even you can search the assets that are there on Exchange and create and manage assets as well, and run local Mule applications, as well as you can deploy the Mule applications from here itself. Here, deploy Mule application. So it will be only eligible for 2.0 and runtime fabric, and not for 1.0 and other things, since they are taking a backward seat right now. So yeah, so it has given us like where is it, from starting API instance. So it has found 8 API instances, and it has also given us the status. Only 2 of them are active, or 2 are inactive, and 4 are unregistered. So this is how it now this is the example of the MCP server that we were calling from the MuleSoft hosted MCP server, right? So similarly, like if you'll be having Zerodha SFT Zerodha MCP server, you'll be calling it like, give me this talk, and it will be going and giving you the data and all the things like that, right? So So for the development part, as I already informed, we'll be choosing Claude 4.5 Sonnet. So because this is the best coding LLM that I have used till now. So let's off this, because if we'll use this one, if we'll kept it on, we'll keep it on, it will call these functions. It will call these tools, and internally it will use Einstein, which will not be that good for coding, right? And uh, I already have one which has prompt. So in this prompt, basically what we are doing, we are creating an SFTP. Sorry, we are creating a listener which is taking the JSON format, JSON payload, and going it like transforming it to CSV, and then putting it in a file named output.csv, and it will be going to the source main resources CSV file, and it will be including all of the loggers that are required, and all the other things will also be there, right? And apart from that, yeah, very much it in the prompt. It is just having some extra spaces, but yeah, it will be good to go. And we'll be using the agent mode and Claude 4.5 Sonnet. And there's one more thing. I have given it the command that which you can also give, right? So auto run. So you can toggle it to on, which I have already did. So what it will do is it will not call me out for every little thing, right? I need to run this, so run everything, right? So it will auto run everything and give me a code that will be working enough. So in the meantime, this is going on. So in the meantime, this is going on. We can what we can do is we have a little uh, quiz for you that we can show. Yeah. So you can see here it has created to-do list, that it has to create a project structure, then form, then config dev YAML and the prod YAML, all the properties, then create the XMLs for the global configurations and common error handler and everything, right? So it is creating everything, right? We'll come back to this in the meantime. And yeah, you can also see on the left side it has started it. Orchestration app, source main mule. We can see a few things already spinning up over here, right, in the configuration file. So we can get back to this. Maybe we have a quick quiz. So Mantasha, do you want to take over for this?
Yeah, Shadul.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a very short break with the quiz we have right now. The very first question on the slide says, which of the following best describe MCP's benefit for enterprises? A, it stores training data sets. B, replaces MuleSoft integration capabilities. C, increases model accuracy through retraining. D, provides a unified and standard way to integrate AI with business tools. We do have the chat populated with D. Okay, let's wait for another 10 seconds. We have good knowledgeable spectator today. They all know the answer. Yeah, it's D. Completely right. Okay, great. Um,
Awesome. Should I go to the next question?
yes, please. Okay, the next one we have in slide is, okay, what problem does MCP aim to solve in AI and enterprise integration? Reducing computation costs for AI models, enhancing API security, avoiding the need for multiple custom integration between LLM and tools, and improving GPU's utilization. Yeah, we again have the chart populated with C. Yeah, because like in the previous slides, we looked upon the role of MCP where we were integrating multiple tools with LLM. So yeah, C is the correct answer. Good one.
Okay, let's get back to the demo. So here it has almost created everything. So 7 out of 7 to dos are done, right? So it has created the form, mule artifact.json, config dev YAML, and 4 out of 7 were done here. And then global configs, orchestration app, readme, and the sample employees. So it has given us the sample data as well. The quick start guide, which will have things like how we can start it, how like Maven clean package and all the running commands as well are there, and the curl is also provided, and view the file. So yeah, there are a lot of things that it has already given us to give it like good start. And it has also given us the README with the file structure and what the functionality of this API is, and what the features, specs, and to run, and what are the prerequisites running in Anypoint Studio, and many more things, right? So it has given us a detailed README as well as direct, like a very good API, right? And here you can see all of the APIs are also XMLs are also created, right? So in the meanwhile, it is, I think it is almost done, but let's wait for it. I want to show you. Okay, it is created, right? So we can get back to this later on, because this was an easy POC that we have created, and we wanted to show you it on live. But we already have created one POC which was a bit complex one. So this is the POC which is like in detail, and in this we have asked Cursor to create a documentation as well as the API which will be doing the whole use case, coming taking the data from SFTP, pulling the CSVs, staging it to the MySQL every hour. Like every hour it will be pulling from SFTP and then staging it to the MySQL server, and every 6 hours it will be sending the batch process via the batch process to Salesforce, right? And then we will be also having an alerting API. Like every time it goes to the Salesforce, it alerts these much are success scenarios and these are failure scenarios which went through and which didn't went through, and didn't go through. And then we'll also having a REST API layer. So what it will be just for the my staging table, right? So if we want to edit something on the staging table before it goes to the Salesforce, we want to edit something, we can directly use the REST API for the staging table. So it's having the all of the CRUD operations that we have, right? And these are the requirements that I've given. FTP polling, there was a use case. Suppose like some client gives you a use case, you can directly send it to the chat GPT. It gives you this prompt, so you can make it a bit less detailed, so because overfitting is also bad and underfitting is also bad, so you can give it the right size prompt, getting all of the data, SFTP polling and data ingestion to MySQL staging table, and then stream the large CSV files efficiently and fetch data from staging table. And then the REST API layer, then we have the deliverables for the flow diagrams, API-led connectivity, sequence diagrams, and and also the smoke testing document and the unit testing documents, right? So it will be giving us everything over there. So it started and it took around 10 to 15 minutes because this was a bigger API. And as you can see, this took, I think, 5 to 10 minutes, the one that we did live, right? And I'll show you that API as well. First, let's go with this one. So it has created everything, and the folder structure and all of the things that we required. And then it was having some errors that I'll show you in the new one as well. It might be having some dependency errors. So what you can do is you can easily take a screenshot of that and put it in the chat, and it will be easily doing that as well. It will be resolving that. So there were 3 dependency errors. 2 it resolved in this prompt, and then it resolved the other ones in this. And there was one munit dependency error, and that it okay that it resolved in this one, since you can see munit testing libraries. And then the third one was the listener error, so it resolved it in this one. And then we have the API and the lucids. So let me show you the lucids first, right? That will be awesome to see. So these are the basic HLDs that it created for every flow. So SFTP, going from SFTP flow is there, then scheduler for SQL flow, and then VMQ listener flow is there. Taking from VMQ, receive alerts, determine alert severity, going to the severity level check, and then the error email, warning or info email, then send email via SMTP, emailing, logging, and then retry counting, right? And it has also created an amazing sequence diagram that you can see over here. So these are all like in Mermaid code that it has created, and we have put it over here. And so this is the Mermaid code that it is created, going from SFTP, making it MuleSoft order processing, and sending this to the staging. And this will run for 6 hours. So this is here every hour, and then after 6 hours, it will run the Salesforce sync API, Salesforce sync flow, and that will be running the batch process, and it will be running after every 6 hours, and we'll be having these things. And apart from that, it will be running the SQL and also the business user queries with the API, right? So let's get back to the API over here. So this is the API that it created, right? And this was the first flow. So this API specifically has all of the CRUD applications, basically the CRUD calls for the staging. And here, as you can see, it has created all of the CRUD applications: get, and here's the create order, then update, then delete, and also the health check, right? And as you can see, all of the best practices are followed over here, and it has also externalized everything. I'll be showing you that as well. So here you can see it has externalized everything, and this was a bit tricky use case. And yeah, these are the configurations that is created. These are also externalized. Everything is externalized. So that's the awesome thing that we have seen here, and these are the common flows that it has created for loggers, requesters, transformers, and all others. And I would not say this is the best error handling, but yeah, for an AI perspective, it is good one. Like we'll be taking like around a week or so to make all of these things right at once. So it has also used alerting with the VMQ. We can ask for endpoint MQ and all others as well, and it is using VMQ over here for that. So listener can also create a manual alert trigger that's also created by it. And then the batch Salesforce sync batch flow. So it is creating the batch step and then upserting all of the data to Salesforce. And in the sum on complete, it is creating a summary and sending it to the publish alert queue, right? And then this SFTP ordination. So this is the start of the flow. SFTP is pulling it from SFTP every hour and on new, and then it will be taking it to the choice connector and the process CSV file subflow, which will be taking it here. Then it will be processing that order record, which will be taking it to transforming it to the required format for staging table. And then after that, from staging, after like every 6 hours, it will be taking it from staging table to the sales source. So this was the API that was created, and it has also created the AMI units. I can show you a few of them. Like yes, so it has also created the AMI units, and also the uh, project summary and readme, and it has also given us the uh, Postman for this, right? Where is that Postman resources? Okay, the SQLs, SQL table, and then the data weave, or everything is externalized. And here also you can see everything is externalized over here, and it has created a very well formatted uh, here, and formatted properties. And we have also used asked to create a RAML, and it has created it. But I haven't reviewed this yet, but yeah. So, and going forward, we'll be having the Postman somewhere in the docs, I think. It has also given us sample order CSV, and then here are the docs, and we've got all of these documents. So API specification documents, which will be opening over here. So specification documents and all the other documents that are required for an API uh, to work with, like a deployment guide. All of the flow diagrams are here. So, and like for the specific flows as well as for the complete flow. And then we have the sequence diagrams here, and then the Postman collection as well. And the test documentation is also there. How can you test the API and the steps including it, right? So, and the README is also here. So everything is well formatted and good one, right? So we can see this orchestration app as well in a second, but I think we are left with very less time. We have only 10 minutes, and we have to go ahead with the Kahoot as well. So let me quickly show you that, and then we can go ahead. So this was the orchestration app that it created. Let's not copy it and perform updates, close others, and it has fortunately given us an error-free API right in the first call. So taking a listener, so the payload is coming over here, setting variable as original payload, and then transforming JSON to CSV. Now this is also I think, yeah, it's externalized as well, and write CSV to file. Here you can see it is also externalized and well formatted over here as well. And we can also show you the POM that is like it has well formatted POM, and all of the dependencies are there, and that's why there is no error in there. So you'll just need to update the configurations because of the security reasons. It, by the way, cursor doesn't take any of the code to their system if we on the privacy mode. But let's be a bit skeptical of that, and since we are the developers, let's be a bit skeptical on that and don't give the private credentials. So updating those configurations over here, right? And that's pretty much it from my side.
Diljot, can we have a real quick look onto the documentation?
Yes, yes. Let me.
Because we do have people sending messages to view the best documentation practices.
Sure, sure, sure. I do have that as well. Give me a second.
To let understand cursor AI to know how we'll be developing the MuleSoft application.
Okay, so you've got a few answers over there,
Okay, moving ahead.
and
We do
here.
feed cursor AI with the
So this is the
context.
document that we have provided MuleSoft with the user rule set, and you can add it as a project best practices as well as the user rule sets as well. So depending on that, you can set the development standard rules that you want to set, right? And going going below there, we have set up all of the naming conventions that are there, API implementation guidelines, and the flow naming conventions, configuration elements that will be requiring, and best practices, no hard-coded values, and Java 17 is required, 4.9.8 Mule runtime, and all others. So, like while you'll be developing with the cursor, you'll be seeing some common errors, right? So you can put this development standards and then create yours and make it a live document for everything. And there's one more thing, like cursor is not specific to MuleSoft, so you can create any kind of development APIs with this. Like you can use Python, Java, or anything. Like so, if you need any Java code with the MuleSoft to run, you can create that as well. Here, okay. I guess that's it from my side. Then we can go ahead with yes, this is a custom doc. Yes. Jay, so for that, custom free trial version will do that because it's a pro generally, but you'll be needing the Claude to make something like this, because I feel Claude is a better coder than all the other LLMs. But yeah, you can try it like free version as well. It will be on auto, and it'll be internally using any LLM that it has for the free trial, so you can use that as well. But generally, Claude is recommended, right? From my side at least. So yes, so we can go ahead. If anyone have any questions, or Mansha, do you want to add something? Yeah, Partha Sarthi. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but yeah. So it you can use ACB extension as well in Cursor, but again, ACB extension, as far as I have used it, it internally goes to the Einstein. Like if I'll ask it to create any project, right, it goes to the Einstein and not Claude that we are using on Cursor. So that will again give you some weird coding, but yeah, you can use that as well. Yes. No, there is nothing for studio. It is for cursor, because in longer term, I would say like they will be shifting to ACB itself. So you will be having all of those cursor things, all of the studio things in the cursor or VS Code itself. Uh, Ramakrishna, we'll need to look into that. Uh, I like for the parent form. Where is that parent form stored, right? So you'll need to look into that, and if you can give that, maybe it can create it, right? And Mantasha, should we start with the Kahoot?
Yeah, sure. And we have our winners today.
Yes, we'll be giving some vouchers today with us. So let me start it. There are only 60 members right now. I thought we had
Yeah, close
70.
to 60 or 58 in number.
Okay, awesome. Just give me a second. Let me start the Kahoot.
Can you share your screen?
Yes, I am sharing my screen. Give me a second. It is getting prepared. So let's start with it. Join.
You can write this link in there.
So you got 30 out of 58.
And the number is still increasing. We can wait a little bit.
Hmm? Yeah, let's wait. And yeah, so the winners of the Kahoot, whoever it will be, please also start with the like give us the emails while you will be leaving, right? So that we'll be giving you the vouchers, right? It's Kahoot voice. Better now? Yeah. So I've removed the Kahoot's voice, and yeah, we have 34 people over here. Let's wait for one more minute. Okay, we are already at the end time, so I think we should start.
Yeah.
Okay, I am starting. Finally, if anyone wants to still join, they can. Okay, we have got 34, and Yes, we are in, and you've got your first. You'll be getting your first question. So that's an easy one. What does MCP stands for? I hope everyone knows this.
That would be a quick answer.
Okay, seven of them got it wrong. Multiple context protocol. No, it is model context protocol because it is for large language models or agents, right? So that's why. And we've got Swapnil
We
on
have
top.
Swapnil on the top.
That's awesome. Let's get with using the model context protocol. What new capabilities do LLMs and AI agents like Claude or Cursor gain, right? So let's get ahead with it. Okay, awesome. So finally, we've got 28 of them correct. And who's on the top? Now, Ravinder is on the
This
top,
one.
and Ankit is on second, and Arnav is on third. Let's get ahead. So that's a true false question. Let's see. I think I answered it in the last 5 seconds or so. So they should not be wrong at least. I would want everyone to be right on this. Okay. So six of them are still wrong. Like, okay, awesome. It's fine. Okay, so we've got Ravinder, Swapnil, and Gurash. So MuleSoft MCP implementation, which one is uses at the backend for AI agent interactions, right? And this one is also which I have emphasized a lot. Akash Dubey, you had to join the Kahoot for this and not here, right? And we have got still the same. The podium is the same. Ravinder, Swapnil, and Gurash. And then we've got what does MuleSoft's implementation of MCP aim to provide, right? So let's get ahead with it. Okay, so the last one is correct. A standardized protocol for agent to tool communication because it is giving us the tools to call, right, via agent or LLMs. And here we've got a bit change. Swapnil, Ravinder, and Muntaha. And going ahead, which of the following is not something you can do using MCP? Wait, let's see how many of you get this correct. Awesome. Like, yeah, we can't really generate new models from scratch, right? So that's the thing. Going ahead. So we've got Swapnil, Ravinder, Muntaha, Guransh, and Priyanshu. Right. Okay, let's get ahead. In the cursor ID, how do you configure the MCP server to connect with MuleSoft's Anypoint platform? Now, this is a question that we'll be having, and yeah, so you can add it in the settings or settings.json or configuration files. Let's see. Okay, awesome. We've got 18 of them right, and the top 5 still remains the same. After configuring the MCP server in cursor ID, what functionality becomes available to developers, right? So, what is it? Okay, awesome. There are 3 to 4 people that are always going wrong. And okay, we've got this. And which component in endpoint platform is used to authenticate MCP server connections? So let's type it out. So it could be something like the app that you created or the client credentials. Okay, that's the correct one. So 11 people got that correct. And there is a complete shift of the podium. So Ravinder is on top, Guransh, and then we've got Priyanshu, Muntaha, and Swapnil. And let's get to the last question. In MCP architecture, which component registers, tools, workflows, AI clients to use, right? So let's get it right. The final question. Uh, you call it, it's either host, client, or server. So we've got that right, MCP server. And let's get to see who is on the podium. So let me voice now.
I
So
hope we
we've
can
got
stop the background noise. Can stop the background.
so that's awesome. We've got Ravinder on the top, then Muntaha, and so yeah, thanks everyone. So that's a wrap, and we'll be
Okay, we'll save this memory in a screenshot then.
there it was there. And so what's next? You can connect with us on the. Let me take a screenshot over here real quick. And yes, so what you can do next is you can connect with speakers. It's me and Mantasha. So you have the LinkedIn over here, and you can share using the hashtag that you have joined this meetup and what have you learned. So hashtag MuleSoft meetups, and you can also join the MuleSoft meetup for Frisco chapter by going to this link and registering over the Frisco meetup, and then you can also put the feedback that you will be getting on an email, and contact MuleSoft Meetup for ways to improve the program. And this is and this. Thank you. Thanks everyone. So this is a wrap, and I hope you have enjoyed the session, and you can give us some comments after that. And if anyone wants to connect, you can connect with us on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn. We can put our LinkedIn over here as well in the chat.
So we can save this memory in a screenshot. We can
Your voice is not audible, Mantasha.
am I audible now?
No, still not.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks for the session.
Is
Thanks for your time, everyone.